Yeah, I cheated. Last episode, we relocated these front hangers for the 52 spring swap. That went really good. So phase 2 is to relocate the front spring rear hangers, the shackle hangers. We need to move them forward. So on this side, I already removed this hanger, much like I did the front, and used my air chisel bit and just knocked them out of there, punched them out, and popped out the rear hanger bracket. It's still in really good shape, so I'm not going to replace the bushing in it. There's no reason to, and this is low buck. So what I need to do is relocate this out of this position forward. So what we're going to do is use this bottom hole and this template. This template I used after I knocked out all the rivets in the frame rail. I set a piece of cardstock in behind, traced out the holes, got a good clean copy, and then found center. So I will only be reusing one of these holes. Move this forward to that hole and pivot that where it lines up and drill 3 new holes there using this existing hole. And then I'll center punch that and cut that hole out using a 2-inch hole saw. So we'll go ahead and knock this one out the rest of the way, and I haven't even started the other side, so we'll get that one done too. And we'll bolt this back in using grade 8 bolts here, as well as we did just like we did in the front. And if you didn't notice, I cut this out. That was completely in the way of where I needed to work. It came right down here through the middle of my work area. There's no way I could have got a drill in around it. And I'm pretty sure these bolts won't come out. I'm sure they're rusted in. As rusty as this pickup is, they weren't coming out. The top hole, don't forget, top hole. Okay, I'll save that for the other side. This bracket here would actually fit inside of an 1 3/4. So anything over that, going 2 inches, that's giving us room to spare. Okay, got that taken care of. We'll jump over to the other side and take care of that one. In doing this 52-inch conversion, it's recommended that we move the rear hanger forward. So that's what we're in the process of doing. So then we're going to need longer shackles. Just reading some forums and talking to people, a little bit longer is better. So I'm doing 7 1/4 inch center to center. Got some scrap iron. This is 3/8 inch. And so I'm making hangers. I need 4 of these. I've got 2 on this 1 bar. And for starters, I'm drilling this 7/16 hole that will accommodate the upper hanger, that hole. Well, I have the upper hanger right here. We'll accommodate that upper hanger because I'm not changing that. That bushing's still really good shape. And I'm just gonna, just to save time, make it easy on myself, I'm just drilling the 7/16 hole for that one. The bottom one will be 9/16 to accommodate the actual hole in the eye of the spring. Now all I gotta do is cut it in half and make 2 more. Yeah, I cheated. before you start drilling over here, look to see where your lines are. There are lines right about here. She's just so dull, won't cut. There, we got that taken care of. The other side's done. Now I can throw the springs in. The front spring that actually goes in here is 3.5 inches wide. The 52-inch spring that we're putting in here is only 3 inches wide. This is the bushing for that, so there's some slop in there. So after we got these bushings, I was reading around and found that there is a bushing that would fit that 52-inch rear spring, and it's thick enough to compensate and fit in there. But what I decided to do was to take the sleeves and make a longer sleeve, and then cut this bumper off the side and slip it on here like that, which makes that 3.5. Actually, I'm just a hair over 3.5. I need to trim this down a little bit. But that will allow that spring to fit in here without being all sloppy. So that's what we're going to do, and that's what I've got started on the springs. I got them on the tailgate. So this spring here has that pack set on it, which will fit in that spring tight. This poly will not give that much, where it's going to be pretty firm in there. So I'm going to do the same to this spring here. We'll get that installed, and then I can get these babies hung on the pickup. I'm going to pack the inside of this with grease so it's well lubed. All right, so I got those ready to go. So I'm gonna throw the rear hangers on, and we'll get these things hung. Okay. Something we didn't talk about was the driveline is just too short. So we'll have to lengthen that out. Little unexpected cost. Cuts into my low buck build. So anyhow, we'll get that done after a little while. I want to just keep moving on getting this front end together. Then we can figure out what we need. I don't know for sure yet. Anyhow, just keep busting it out. Now these aren't the tires and wheels I intend to use for this project. I'm putting them back on now just so I can get an accurate measurement from before and after. And then after that, we'll throw some better tires on it. Okay, let's get this on the ground. Nice. Okay. We were 36.5 before. We are, let's say 39.5 inches. So that's 3 inches of lift, which is good. I didn't want it to be super tall. I wanted it high enough to clear some 37s minimum, which I got a lot of room here because the axle, this was an axle forward. So I got plenty of room here. Plenty of room here. It's tight right here. It's too tight right here probably. But I intend on trimming this off. I'm either going to cut it here or clear up here, maybe even a little higher. But I'm going to trim that front fender. That'll give me all the clearance I need there. Now the spring that I installed, I ended up doing a 3-leaf pack. I was indecisive between a 3 or a 4-leaf pack. And I wanted a better ride. I wanted more articulation in the front end. So I went with 3. Like I want it soft. So that's where we're at now. It's got quite a bit of bounce to it, which I like. There's suspension travel. They're not quite flat. Just have a little bit of an arch to them still with the 7 1/4 inch shackles that help kind of balance this stuff out. Now I do have shocks coming. I am putting longer brake lines. There's enough slack in them right now, but at full drop, I don't know what's going to happen. So I ordered longer brake lines. The drag link on the other side is too long, so we'd have to shorten that. Because of that geometry being so far off, I get oversteer to the right and hardly any steer to the left. So that's something that has to be addressed. And I think, and probably a lifted steering arm. That was like $80, and then whatever you have to do to your drag link. Anyhow, thanks for watching. I hope this is helpful. If you haven't, please subscribe and leave a comment on what I'm doing. If you have some ideas about what I'm doing, maybe I need some insight, throw that in the comments. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Bye.